When was the last time that you felt fear and it stopped you dead in your tracks? I had this experience quite recently. Ironically, I had just finished writing Growing Bold, How to Overcome Fear, Build Confidence, and Love the Life You Live. So you can imagine I was quite disconcerted by this feeling. I've been working with my editor, Deirdre, for months. I'd been talking to friends, family, and coworkers about the book, and they were getting really excited about it and couldn't wait to read it. And I was anxious to have a copy of the finished version in my hand. Just ask Deirdre, she knows how anxious I was. So on the morning of November 28th, I was going through my emails, and in popped a message with the subject line, final version. In an instant, what I had worked so hard for had arrived. My emotions surprised me, however. Instead of feeling excited, happy, or even relieved, dread filled my gut like a 2-ton boulder. A bout of apprehension overwhelmed me, and I started to question whether or not I was ready to share my story with the world, skeletons and all. At that moment, I questioned whether I had the strength and the courage to face the fear of being judged and being vulnerable. But I had a burning desire to help people work through their fears so that they could live the life they love. So tapping into this initial reason for writing the book helped me to push through and deliver despite my fear. But that wasn't the end of the story. Fast forward 4 weeks. Tina, Ruth, and I had finished proofreading the book. I had given the publisher permission to go ahead and print it, and Amazon had started shipping copies of the book. I was ecstatic. For the first time, I could call myself a published author. I was on top of the world until I started getting messages in my email and on Facebook from friends saying that their copies of the book had arrived. Not only had my book arrived, so had my moment of truth. I wondered if they would enjoy the stories I poured my heart and soul into, whether they would get the message that life is now, start living it the way you want to, make a plan and get on it. And would those activities I had included in the book help them to do that? And the question that really, really burned deep inside of me was, after they read my stories, what will they think of me? This situation was different from the first in that there was nothing I could do. I'd already set the wheels in motion. And so I turned off my email and shut down social media, and I went to bed. This was in God's hands, not mine, and I had to let it go. The next morning, I woke feeling rested, and I got a happy surprise on Facebook. A friend who I went to college with had made a very nice comment. She said that she'd received her book the night before, and although she was exhausted from her day, she started reading it, and she couldn't put it down. My fear melted away, and I exhaled. Fear and self-doubt, these are not emotions that we conquer one time and say we have them licked. My story illustrates that. It does get easier, however. Having courage and self-confidence determines the level of satisfaction and success that we have in life. Taking steps to and moving forward on working through fear takes away the barrier of being crippled to the point of non-action by it. If we recognize our accomplishments, no matter how small they are, and if we build our skills, we start to become more comfortable, and it's easier for us to be authentic and to stand out in a crowd. I wrote Growing Bold to unpack all that had transpired in my life. I wanted to identify those things that grew inside of me that allowed me to do things I never thought I could. I wrote Growing Bold to share those miracles with the world and to give them a track to run on so that they too can experience the peace and contentment of living your dream. I urge you to read Growing Bold and learn from my stories. Take the time and do the activities and learn from yourselves. Reflect. Uncover your blocks and find your purpose. Do this so that you can experience the peace that defies understanding. I'm going to close with a poem by Marianne Williamson, and it's called Our Deepest Fear. Okay. Or Our Greatest Fear, excuse me. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not in just some of us, it's in everyone. As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.